Isah Kantigi, me don't win no shit, na what you do, one after 18, why I ain't no one feel bitches, don't have to be too angry. On a talker, you didn't be Zanake, Kinupiona, Kabuta, boy, was so sooner, Zanan, Badimano, Ekinatala Kantaka, Naikila Tichinare.
You are onto the platform on Radio Nigeria Power FM Bida, Niger State. This edition of the program, we are with the Governorship flag bearer of the PDP in Niger State, the popular Isah Liman Kantigi, former Niger State Commissioner for Local Government and of course a former chairman of Edatil Local Government Council in Niger State. You're most welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, what will you do differently to turn around the fortunes of Niger State if given the mandate?
There are a lot of fortune in Niger State. Particularly, I can say 70% of the populace of Niger State are farmers. If there's any way we can do to empower these people in giving them adequate farming instrument, fertilizers, and other things, and to make sure that they are self-independent, at least that is one of the major things that the state is lacking for now. And by the time we improve on so many things like that, the turning over has started. Because if you can fulfill or if you can give the 70% populace of a state such type of fortune, I believe you have started in a higher step. Secondly is about the education. Some schools presently are dilapidated. If there is no place a person can sit comfortably at least to listen to the teacher, you can find out that he comes to school but he go home with nothing. Also, the teachers also need training. Somebody that is giving knowledge needs to be improved upon. And somebody that has taken his time to go and give your children education, his salary needs to be paid adequately. He doesn't need to wait. He doesn't need to beg you to pay what he has worked for. So these are many, including others. Security. Somebody that is in the farm needs to be secured. Those days that we were farming, you would just stay in the farm up to 6 o'clock. No intervention. No any suspected move that somebody will come and kidnap you or kill you. In other circumstances, you are in the farm with all your heart to work. So in view of that circumstances, these are many other things that we want to do for the state. And if we make that promise, inshallah, we are going to fulfill it.
Talking about payment of salary, the inability of some local government councils to pay salary has been obvious. As a former council chairman and of course today the candidate of the PDP, how do we go out of this situation?
You see, let me tell you my experience. My experience about it is that there are some local government, due to their peculiar geographical situation, they cannot meet up in paying the salary of their workers. First of all, they have to augment from other local government that have no workforce, like those peculiar local government. Now, every human being have migrated from the local level to urban level. So, most of our wives or most of our relations, dependents, are based in these cities. And everybody wants his wife to be transferred away from his home to where the husband is. So it makes those local governments with majority than the rural local government. Let me call it rural local government. That is why the workforce in those kind of areas like Mena, like Kwantagora, like Suleja, their workforce are higher. So that is the essence of joint account. So that you bring from these, so that the local government that is in Niger or has no power or has no resources to pay the workers' salaries would also get from other local government that have excess. So that the state will move forward because we are one. That is where the problems sometimes come from. Where the present regime come from, I wouldn't know because I did not serve under them. So what is there is that with the help of joint account, you will find out that where this one is falling, the other one will pick it up. So we are going to look into it to ensure that everybody that is working towards the same goal get at least the same thing like other places. Not that we'll have to shortcome the smaller local government. The leadership has to look into making sure the rural becomes like urban, so that the migration to the urban will be reduced. The social amenities should be provided so that it will look like urban. For example, now, if I'm in my village and I have the social amenities, what am I going to do in Mena? I wouldn't go there. So our administration, inshallah, will look into why are people moving from rural local government to urban local government.
Sir, you talk about the local government not being able to pay salary, but there is issue of autonomy. At a point, partial autonomy was also discussed. What's your take on the issue of local government autonomy in general?
One thing that people are misleading or misinforming about autonomy, in every aspect of life there is leadership. Me, I am for autonomy. And for example, now when somebody is complaining that they did not allow you to take a decision in your own particular local government, there's a proverb that says, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. If you know the capacity, if you take away from the state the payment of salaries, for example, looking after the emirs, doing what the community want, repairs of the local road, provision of social amenity to your locality, you will find out that we have more development. So I am for autonomy. Every local government should be able to do exactly what we have done. I was a local government chairman, and from what you have seen, the development we have achieved, it was because we are getting the allocation. When it comes to the state, we are giving this, so we had the opportunity. If you go to what I have done here, same way that you can see a lot that Mokwa local government chairman or Wushishi or any other, during our time, we have showcased a lot of things. But because of shortfall, they will tell you that because of shortfall or crude oil or any other thing, because that is what they will start talking about. There are certain things that you can empower somebody, not necessarily in disturbing the main principle. So therefore, because of certain type of event or factors, if we allow autonomy of every local government, and now we create people's supervisory role to checkmate these people, I think it will be a thing of the past. Where people are afraid of that autonomy, some local government chairmen that have not seen money before, the next thing you give them the allocation, number one, will add to the wife. You will add to a lot of things. His social life will change. But if there's a strong supervisory role, because no matter whatever is there, they will not say, for example, a Dati state. They will say Niger state. So we will not allow the local government under us to take a decision that will betray the trust the people of the locality put on us. Because most of the votes come from the grassroots.
Sir, let's talk about the issue of your running mate. What did you consider in choosing him?
Number one is a grassroots man. 70% of what engineered me to pick him, Samuel Governor is a grassroots guy. Just like you have seen me, I'm a grassroots person. Our father are based here, our mothers were based here, they live in their own locality. As such, if you go to his house, you will see what you have seen in my house. So anybody that share his own life history with the people that he grew up with, you will be able to see a lot of large things. Things small will be bigger in his eyes. So that is what number one informed me. Number two, it has come to a stage that we should also allow other religions to participate in making decisions. Because I have the belief that if God, and it is in the Quran, if God in his own infinite mercy wanted to make the whole world one religion, he would have done so. He would have said, okay, all the world should be Ismailites. They are all Islamic people or Muslims. It would have taken place. But it's the God that has created this religion. And they also have history. You understand? And they live among us. You see, if I always give an example, because my first wife was a Christian. One, if you come to Lale on your way before Kutigi, if you see the way Christians and Muslims are living together, you understand what I'm saying? So these are the things we allow somebody that will speak on behalf of this religion, because that is his religion. He knows much about it. Just like me, I know much about Muslim. I know their ways of prayers. I know what you do to a Muslim before. We need control, or we need everybody to march forward. We are going to run a government of everybody. Everybody must be involved. Poor, rich, wretched, or whatever you call it, we must run government of unity. Everybody will be involved.
Having gone through many parts of Niger State, especially as a result of electioneering campaign, so what is the major problem you have identified with Niger State, and how do you intend to solve it?
One thing that I've gone, the truth is always bitter. And even as we are sitting down here to eat bitter cola, it's not very easy for a human being. What I want to tell you, sir, with due respect, I saw that there is a lot of poverty going around. I'm living here. I'm living in my village. There's a lot of poverty. People with 4 wives, they have none. Now, some doesn't have none. Some have only one because they cannot feed them. Some have already dispersed some of their children to go and look for certain things that will keep the family. So one of the things I have discovered is that poverty has taken a lot of things, and that is the initiation of the crime in the society. So if any other thing that I want to say will be secondary to this. But what is there now is that the poverty has overridden. It has clouded the whole thing in the nation. People are feeling hungry. There is no more food on the table. Farmer that want to go to the farm does not have money to buy the farming instrument to continue with his own farming. Therefore, poverty has prevented a lot of things. People are hopeless now. They don't have hope. They don't know where to go. In fact, those people that have, the people that are energized come to steal. And if you don't have anything to eat, what do? You result into stealing.
So there's a lot of saying that Niger State is a civil service state. Considering our advantages, how do you change that narrative?
The civil servant are the engine room of every administration, not even Niger State alone. They are engines of every administration. If you are not careful and you don't take care of these people, believe me sincerely, you are in trouble. They are the first charge. Because if you don't have engine, no matter how beautiful is your car, how do you drive a car without engine? But I don't feel that any responsible government should neglect this aspect of people because they are very important. They keep the government running. It's just like you having a newspaper without giving it a news. You said you are basing your newspaper company for advertisement. It doesn't go like that. Therefore, you have to give credibility to the civil servants. You have to empower them. You have to take care of them and their family. You have to make them happy. You have to run around and make sure that your civil service or your civil servant are much more placed in a position of no complaint. And how do you do that? You have to pay their leave grant. You have to make sure that everybody go to leave and when it is due. If they have engagement, because farming is allowed in civil service, empower them. Those days there's leave allowances or salary advance. You give it to them. Some civil servants are looking at what politicians are accumulating and they are keeping quiet. That is mean the car is beautiful, but what empower that car is the engine. But you are not seeing the engine. Nobody will say the engine of this car is beautiful. They will say the body of the car is beautiful. But what moved that car is the engine. So any government that wants to succeed should be able to empower the civil servant in the state.
So considering our comparative advantage in Niger State, how do we turn the state to a productive one?
Agriculture. You leave it to me, it's agriculture. Government has to sincerely focus on agriculture. The world is so much advanced that we have to get partners to educate our farmers. For example now, those days that I used to go to farm, you will first of all cut away the grasses, fire the grasses, and before you come to make ridges, plant your rice, take care of the rice to grow. When it's growing, you have to remove the grasses that is disturbing the rice. But now, the improvement has come that, first of all, you don't cut bushes with the cutlass again. What you do is use chemical. These bushes will dry off through the chemical. Then you now start making the ridges. I was also educated that when the rice start growing, you use the chemical. The chemical will differentiate between the unwanted grass and leave all the... These are techniques. But China has grown to the extent that these things that apart from you planting, they even have engine to plant. Why can't we get farmers association, expose them to this thing by themselves so that they will know they acquire this thing by loan? And government will now have to, if you are a banker and you want to stay in our state, support our farmers. And believe you me, any farmer that you will come and see, you see a farmer very neat, like you that you are a civil servant, like you that you are a politician. And believe me, time will come, somebody will not go and contest for any election, will prefer to be a farmer.
Let's talk about insecurity, because a while ago you talked about agriculture as being one of the strengths of Niger State. And these days, you discover that insecurity is not allowing farmers to move freely. How do we address the issue of insecurity in Niger State?
Very simple. Empower the traditional rulers. Every traditional ruler knows who is who in his own community, and he knows how to go about it. The moment you say traditional rulers should be forgotten in our system, the more problem we are creating for ourselves. When I was local government chairman, I stood up from this, my Kantigi here, to go to Enegi, because I usually, 60% of my time I used to stay in my village here. I was on my way to the office in the morning. I saw some foreign faces. I didn't ask them. What I did was I summoned Beamer to my office. And I said, look, I saw some people on my way coming on, and they don't look like people in this community. We said, which area? We told him the area. He now summoned the village head of that area. The village head said he saw them, but they've passed. The next village, before I knew it, now those people were apprehended by the police, and they were taken to the area commander. So if you want to jump the gun, wallahi, that gun that will kill you. That is just it. That is just it. The people that are abandoned, they know what they are looking for. Some of them, if you watch the video, some of them pass some community and buy bread and this and shake hand with the people. So we need to empower our traditional institution. And that is why the Saldona then they had the peaceful way of administration.
So on the final note, I must ask you this question before we leave you. There seems to be crack in PDP after your emergence as a flag bearer. How do you intend to, reconcile all agreed members, sir?
There's no crack in PDP. That is not true. What you call a crack is not a crack. I don't know whether you have one wife. Go and add one again. If you add one again, there will be crack. There will be cha-cha-cha-cha-cha new noise in the house. After some time now, that new wife, you have to give the new wife the constitutionality of your own house. Every house has a constitution. Look, oh, this is your boundary. Look, oh, this is for you. Look, oh, this is not for you. And after that noise, you'll find that everybody becomes so quiet because they are aware of the rules. And another example I will give to you, there's nothing good in life. Everybody will be interested of what is good. So that is what is there. There is no person that will say, this I vie for this thing. You spend money. Every one of us vying for a position spent money. Even if it's 100 naira, he spent the money. After spending that money and he did not get that thing, you feel you should not make noise? So you could call that one crack? There's no crack there. We are doing things based on after election or after primaries. Then we are now united. We'll look at it and we'll settle ourselves. There are machineries who are doing all this. So I'm telling you authoritatively that there is no crack in PDP. But we're in a situation of social media. Everything can be said.
Well, sir, I said that because I discover you won clearly in the primary election with wide margin, but there is a case in the court. Somebody is contesting that victory. And sometimes you hear rumor like Malagi is coming, you are going to give your ticket to Malagi. And some few days ago, we saw your picture emerging with Malagi.
First of all, let me address Malagi's issue.
Okay.
I don't know whether you are being informed that I'm a businessman.
I know that.
And you don't know whether there's anybody that has informed you that I don't live idle. And if I'm selling a cap, I cannot wear the whole cap that I'm selling. So I get to discover Malagi some years back. You understand? He is in APC. I am in PDP. As such, when I met with him, I discovered that he is an ideal person, a very mature person, a very calm human being. He is somebody that will listen to you carefully. He reason with you. Even in terms of trading together, are you interested in this? You will suggest to me, you will listen to my view, and I form a relationship with him. And people now started saying, you have transferred your own ticket to him. What of other time that we did not snap? You understand what I'm saying? You don't know what we are doing together. There are some friends that are for business. There are some friends that are for politics. There are some friends that are even for humanizing. There are some friends that are for religious affairs. So the fact of it is that being in APC, it is not easy to transfer this thing. And I said it to people, and some people are messing up with that kind of word. I said, if you as a journalist has the same passion with me, and I know you are not rich, you don't have money to do one or two things in politics, and I know your passion, I know that you are interested in where I am should be more improved. And I discovered that I don't have such type of passion. Your own is 70% and my own is 20%. Wallah, I will ask you to go. Alhamdulillah, I'm a successful person. Alhamdulillah. Because God says in every situation you should thank Him. I will allow you to go. And I say it in public that if Malagi were to be in PDP and they say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we are contesting, and they say, okay, you come and enumerate what you have. It's not that Malagi is richer than me. Malagi cannot sit down and that he's richer than me. Or I can say I'm richer than Malagi. He doesn't know my statement of account. I don't know his too. You understand what I'm saying? If Malagi, by the passion he has demonstrated, and they call me from anywhere to say that Malagi is in the throne, and I sit down with him and listen, that this is his passion. I look at people that he takes care of, people that are surrounding him, his own gift, his art for the people, his admittance, his tolerance. I would say all of us should step down for Malagi. One person should go. Because there is capability. You cannot contest an election when they come to your place, you don't have even one person sitting down with you. You are not even tolerant. So the fact of it, I saw every quality in Malagi of those factors I've listed. And those are what people are saying. But the new electoral law does not permit me, even after my death, my ticket is not transferable. They must have to organize another primaries to now say, you, come and contest and let us get one. It's not something that is transferable. No matter how I love Malagi, I can't transfer it. It's not allowed. About the court you raised, it makes me to laugh. Part of the form we fill, they said, I have lied, that I have never been convicted before. The form I fill, first of all, I presented my credentials. I invited 2 lawyers. In fact, the final day we are going to fill it, a third lawyer, which a senior advocate was present. He was filling his own. He was also supervising my own. I was somewhere doing my things. I said, look at my document. They were the people that fill it, the lawyers. So, one of the portion, they say I lied, that I have been convicted. I said, give me. There's no way a court can convict you without you having the judgment. Bring the judgment where I have been taken to court and the court find me convicted. Give me this thing. Wallahi ta'ala, I'll come to television that they find me and I'm losing. Is it by force? If I did not do governor, whatever God want to give to me, he will give to me. But let me tell you, everything you want to do in your life, you must have people to criticize you. So he has decided to go to court because of certain things. And one thing that I want you to know, they say I will not come back, I came back. Sometimes they will come and put a nonsense incantation in front of my house here in Kantigi, but I came to Nigeria. They say when you get to the airport, you will be arrested. Am I arrested? The answer is no. If you cannot answer it, I'm answering to myself. The answer is no. They say I cannot be screened. I was screened. They say I will not pass the appeal. I passed. So they say I will not sit down for primaries. I did. And I won 667. Sani is 114. But you cannot prevent anybody from choosing whosoever he wants to follow. Some out of friendship, some out of ignorance, some out of deceit, some out of so many things. So in view of that, he is in court. Let us see what the court will come out with. But if the court comes to say, Kantigi, you lied, the court has to give the reason why I have lied. Then if we are not satisfied, we go to appeal. If you are not satisfied, you go to Supreme Court. That does not nullify me. That does not nullify me until when the Supreme Court decide about it. As far as I am concerned, I have collected my INEC papers. I'm waiting that everything should go smoothly and should run the way it's supposed to run. But don't be afraid. Even your son, Quran say your wife, your children, your mother, your father, there must be one that is your enemy. So the fact of it, we'll leave that matter for another day to be discussed.
We must thank you for your time, sir. Those are the words of Isah Liman Kantigi, the Niger State PDP gubernatorial candidate for the 2023 general election. My name is Sodi Mohammed Logma, saying a big thank you to the head of marketing, Power FM Bida, Aja Awawu Adamu Luafu. Not forgetting the marketing executive, Adamu Amzat. Goodbye.
Me don't win no shit, na pojitia on nadano. Bona after echi no, why I no one feel fichi, don't attribute one give. Bona e toka idili nupe, zanake kin numpiona, kabuta wa he was so soon, zananga de man.